Hello, my name is Ray Gehring, guitarist here in Brooklyn, and today's video is going to be very different from anything I've done. And as I was sitting here trying to practice earlier this morning, I saw a comment on a YouTube channel. Somebody wanted to know about tariffs, and I've seen other people, small guitar shops and such, speak about tariffs, and I'm just seeing a lot of speculation and guesswork as far as what's going on. In order to understand what a tariff is, look it up. If you ask guitarists to look things up, we usually go down rabbit holes. That's how I ended up here. First and foremost, the final word on tariffs is you have to look it up for yourself. An informed consumer is an informed buyer. Knowing more about how tariffs work and how they will affect you just helps your own pocketbook. You're going to pay 25% more whether you're Canadian or whether you're American for each other's pedals. I went through ChatGPT and asked for 10 different sources, all credible sources. I asked it to vet its own sources, and then I asked it to vet all those sources again. Tariffs are going to hurt, period. And don't expect a pedal manufacturer to tell you if tariffs are going to affect the pricing. Again, it's 100% fluid right now. They haven't taken effect. They were passed on February 4th, but they're in a state of pause for negotiations. I'm sure tariffs can be targeted in ways that do work, but right now a general tariff on any country is it raises prices all across the board, period. And there are workarounds for many manufacturers, so we'll just keep it between American and Canadian pedal manufacturers. Pedal manufacturers are looking at 7 ways to Sunday how to work around these. What are the legal workarounds? What are the manufacturing workarounds? What are, et cetera, et cetera. If I know this just by simple research, I know what the pedal companies are doing. The 25% tariff enacted upon Canada and the same being enacted upon America, aside from energy costs or energy products, there are going to be price increases. But there are ways that pedal makers can work around that. You have to know that they are doing that. And it's too political right now to expect them to comment on all these things. So to break down what pedal manufacturers may be doing, let me tell you. Here it says, instead of shipping finished pedals across the border, which incurs tariffs, American and Canadian boutique builders could sell parts to each other, assembling them domestically to avoid import duty on a fully built product. So they can begin assembling each other's products in their own warehouse spaces or their own manufacturing places. So companies can route products through a country not affected by tariffs, direct to consumer sales. If Canadian customers or American customers buy directly from each other's companies in small quantities, tariffs may not apply if the purchase stays under Canada's de minimis import threshold. That means the point at which they begin imposing taxes. So it looks like for Canada, that is 150 Canadian dollars and $40 CAD for taxes. All right. Some guitar components like resistors, capacitors, enclosures, screws, what have you, might qualify for lower tariffs or exemptions, depending on how much value is added in each country. Companies should work with customs brokers to classify their products or under harmonized tariff schedule. That's what that HTS means. It's a brilliant name, harmonized tariff schedule codes, to see if they qualify for lower duties. If you're selling products abroad, exporting, more than likely you've got people working with you who are brokers that understand the process. People I've worked with in the past certainly did. They didn't want to try to negotiate all the trade agreements or the trading laws between each country. So companies can route products through a country not affected by tariffs. And obviously they have to comply, but there's an option. Trade agreements and exemptions. Some industries or products qualify for tariff exemptions under the special trade agreements. That was the USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Musicians, people related to the music industry, are really creative about working across borders. Many of you musicians out there have done it. Many of you people out there have owned small music companies. I own a teaching company, but that's a fairly easy overhead to deal with. But they are going to affect everybody. These tariffs may be avoided altogether, but to understand how this affects you as a guitarist, as a person that purchases guitar pedals, guitars, but in this case, I really wanted to keep it between Canada and the United States, and specifically about guitar pedals. But these are small businesses. You can call it boutique. You know, there's a boutique bread shop up the way, but she's a small business owner. And we need to support as many of those as we can. We need to support our brothers and sisters across borders by buying on their websites and supporting this space in this community. Don't look outside of it in a broader context. Find out where and how you can make purchases that make a positive change, as opposed to just being frustrated by all the noise going on right now. Just separate the signal from the noise. Do your research, look it up, and just be an informed consumer. All right, I really appreciate you going through this definition with me, and I really appreciate you following along with me in this. And again, it came out of a sense of frustration. And musicians, certainly guitarists, the last thing any guitarist needs is to have another guitarist chirping at them. It just disgusts me to see anybody chirping at one another. Disagreements in comment sections on YouTube amongst guitarists is just pointless. Just look up the information instead of attacking somebody else's credibility or attacking somebody else's, even if they're misinformed, attacking them doesn't help anybody. I mean, you have to educate yourself. You have to be an informed consumer if you want to protect your own pocketbook, your own wallet, what have you. Lastly, we as consumers have a lot of choices here, and we can make some really great informed choices that avoid paying these higher tariffs and support small guitar pedal builders in the process. So we will have a lot of options, and guaranteed these pedal makers are considering every last one of them. It's too fluid right now to make any sort of comment or explain what could be coming up, because nobody knows right now. And don't expect them to answer these questions, because everything, again, has become extraordinarily politicized. And this is not something that needs to be politicized. And I hope in some way this helps people at least do research of their own to understand what's going on. So I wouldn't expect anybody to do that lengthy of a search, but I'm a hell of a lot more informed now than I was an hour ago. All right, thank you again for watching these videos and any of my videos. Stay tuned. All right, thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye-bye.